Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped. Something.
I wasn't expecting that
either. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then the hurt child became present when you mentioned it.
And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
Funny. I haven't seen that before.
It feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things. Of a world where they can exist. This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening. It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session.
I feel light. When you hit that first joint, in the morning, and
I actually feel a lot more awake.
All right, so just let me know when you're comfortable.
I'm comfortable, thank you.
Okay, great. So if you want, you can close your eyes or soft gaze off into the distance, whatever works for you. And just noticing your breath to start. Noticing how when you breathe in, how it affects your body. How the inflating of your lungs shifts things. And how it's the most natural thing in the world. Take a breath in and let it out. Taking a second to notice the rest of your body. Extending your awareness up your shoulders, into your neck, your head and your face. Noticing any sensations that may be in that area. Maybe tension or some tingling. Seeing if you can bring your breath into that space. Adding a few more molecules in between your ropes of muscle and into the blood. Extending your awareness to your arms, to your wrists, down to your fingertips. Any sensations that may be there. Now growing that bubble of awareness to include your hips and legs, your knees, down to your toes and the bottoms of your feet. And saying hello to the parts of your body that are speaking. They're buzzing or holding tension, something else. Letting that bubble of awareness expand to just around you, your body, include your mind, and letting all of your parts know that this is actually a bubble of safety as well. That nothing has to get out of that bubble that doesn't want to. It's completely up to them. I'm here to guide you, but they don't have to reveal anything to me that they're not comfortable with. So, taking a moment to notice the thoughts in your mind, any parts that may be present, maybe that are connected to your body as well. Mm, Adding some space there as well, bringing some breath to them, inviting them to stand with their arms outstretched, but they don't have to be right on top of each other. If they are, you can really slow things down as much as possible, as much as they would like. Just in this space, James, what are you noticing?
Um, a lot, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of different parts coming up and sensations, and I'm noticing how different it is to be in this seat compared to when I'm playing practitioner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what are you noticing that's different?
Mm, just kind of more of a nervous energy, or more of I guess that's the simplest way to explain it, but it's kind of throughout the body,
Mm-hmm.
kind of wiggling my toes and just a little buzzy.
Yeah. Does it make sense to you that that would be present in this role?
Yes.
It does to me too. It's very different being a practitioner versus the client. There's a lot more potential for exposure.
Yes.
Yeah. So just noticing that buzzing sensation and saying hello to that part. You notice some things about it that it kind of has a nervous sort of energy to it when put in simple terms. How do you feel toward it?
Understanding,
Mm-hmm.
like, it makes sense.
That's great. Are you noticing anything else?
I mean, I think that there is a want it to go away part also.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that want it to go away part. What is it saying?
It's saying just how unhelpful that being in that energy is.
Hmm.
And it's just saying, yeah, need to get rid of that. Unhelpful to me, unhelpful to you, to anyone who might hear this.
Hmm. Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I'm hearing that part really cares about being helpful.
Yeah, it wants our time together to be spent doing what we intend to do and not get blocked by nervousness.
Yeah, that makes sense, right? That part would feel that way. Yeah, so just let that part know. I also want to tell that part that the really cool thing about IFS is it doesn't really matter where we start. We're going to get pointed somewhere pretty awesome. As far as like awesome in the way that it's big, it's incredible, it's interesting, it's fascinating, and it's worth looking at. And it doesn't really matter where we start. And I can hear that this part has a plan, maybe, or it has an idea of how this session might go. Is that right?
Yes.
Got it. Yeah. So when it says that, when you're realizing that about it, how do you feel toward it?
I feel compassionate for it.
Yeah. Great. So let it know. And see if there's anything else it needs to say before we ask it to relax. See if it can do that. Maybe step back into the periphery a little bit.
Yeah, it's okay with that.
Okay, great. So again, bringing your attention to that buzzing sensation. Is it still present?
It's much more relaxed.
Got it. Does it make sense to you that it would be relaxing?
Yeah.
Is there anything else it needs right now?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, great. If you notice it return, like if it's back in your body or in your mind, let's definitely acknowledge it and see what it needs. And it's possible that we're approaching something it's not comfortable with, and it's kind of like an alarm bell. I want to make sure that we're respecting all of your parts and not just like, barreling into something that they're not ready for us to go.
Right. Thank you.
Of course. So what are you noticing now, James?
I'm noticing, well, again, kind of thinking about parts that I wanted to work with.
Okay.
And I'm noticing right before we started the meditation, we were talking about back pain.
Mm-hmm.
And although that wasn't on my mind before, but now it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of coming up as like, I don't know, a part that could be worked with, kind of not just back pain, but just like there's parts around any physical healing or symptoms
Mm-hmm.
that I think are interesting. And they come up, almost every day for me. I'm thinking some way about my health and how much time to research, how much time to do the exercises, how much time to ignore it, kind of stuff.
Yeah. There's a lot of time spent thinking about it. A lot of parts that have maybe different jobs when it comes to considering or dealing with health stuff.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Does it feel like that's the loudest thing that you'd like to focus on, thing you're most curious about at the moment?
Yes.
Okay, got it. So when it comes to, is it just like health stuff or specifically your back, or what are you noticing?
I'm noticing that I think the parts, it seems like kind of the same parts around any health thing. So no, it's not specific. It's not specific to back pain.
Got it. Okay. So what do you notice? Because it sounds like there's multiple parts. Is there one that is catching your attention the most at the moment?
Let's see. I think there's a kind of dynamic of a busy manager part that wants to get things done.
Mm-hmm.
And then this other part that's more focused on, again, like physical health. And um, in the past, there wasn't much of a balance there at all.
Mm-hmm.
And now I do feel better about like asking that busy manager to step back, and maybe we are going to research this thing for an hour and attend to it.
Mm.
But there's still a battle there, and there's still just a discomfort when I'm focusing on that. When I'm focusing on my physical health, there's kind of other judgment or other parts around that make it like uncomfortable to focus on.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like there's a few different parts you're noticing. So let me just see if I'm getting this correct. So there's that manager part, and then one that is more attentive to health concerns. And it sounds like the two of them are kind of, there's a tension between the two of them on how to spend your time, maybe.
Right.
And then there's discomfort and some other parts and judgment, I think you said. There's some other parts present as well.
Yes.
Sounds like a constellation. So at this point, I want to give you the option. What we could do is, since you have a notepad in front of you, we could do something called parts mapping, which I'm not sure if you probably are familiar with it at this point. But if you wanted, we could make like a kitchen table exercise or something like that. Or
sounds great.
You want to do that?
Yeah, I'm very curious.
Okay, cool. So yeah, the way that I do these, I'm not an artist. You don't have to be. I make like they're not called Venn diagrams, but they're maps that just draw an oval, write words in it, draw lines from the oval to attach to other ovals, and then describe those parts, and just to see how they all interrelate to one another.
Mm-hmm.
So when you consider this system, what is in the middle? What is like the focus of the system?
It feels like what's at the focus is the health itself, like well-being.
Okay.
Is kind of the center of gravity.
Got it. So like the central concept is health and well-being.
Yes.
So where do you feel like that will go on the page?
So I'll put that right in the middle.
So you've described, I think, at least 3 parts so far.
Yes.
So there's the manager. How would you describe what that one does for you?
Taskmaster, watching the clock. I've worked with this part a lot. Mm-hmm. It's always there. And it keeps me productive.
Got it. So I'm sensing some gratitude for this part and that you've gotten to know it pretty well.
Yes.
Great. So then maybe some key words, like how you notice it in your body, and then what the terms are you would use to describe it.
It's very heady, and it's very, in the past I've pictured like kind of a cartoon of someone with multiple telephones, multiple arms, holding up 5 different phones to connect and work in the world. But it's often it's got the energy of like get stuff done, but it's also kind of scrambled and can be busy for the sake of being busy.
So
Yeah.
its whole job is maybe to be busy even when you're not.
Yeah, just spinning my wheels, kind of busy.
Okay, got it. So whatever feels like, do you have a name for this part?
Pushy busy guy.
The pushy busy guy? Is that name okay with this part?
Yeah.
Okay, the pushy busy guy. So then there was also the one that likes, or doesn't, I guess its job is to focus on health related issues.
Yes.
So how do you notice that one?
It's very warm and tender and has kind of a motherly kind of quality, like just nourishing, and it takes its time.
Mm-hmm. Not in a hurry at all.
Yeah.
So warm, nourishing, takes its time. So very different from the busy guy.
Right.
Do you have a name for that one?
I don't.
Let me check in with that part and see if it has something it would like to be called, to identify it by. And that, it can change. Doesn't have
Taking care.
Taking care.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like that part really cares about you.
Yes.
So how are those two related? Do they have something that, are they often interacting with one another, pulling away from each other? How do they relate to each other?
Occasionally they work together, and we get a lot of stuff done in the field of self-care. You know, we make a project out of the thing, and because there are phone calls to be made about it, and we need to attend, you know, and observe and, you know, look inward. And then probably more often they're more at odds, and usually the pushy part is, it's just there's never any time for that stuff. Like maybe a prescribed 20-minute workout at a specific time of day, but only because that's, you know, what the book says I'm supposed to do. But as far as like just tuning in and just noticing things, and also taking the extra time that's required again to kind of just diagnose stuff and follow up. Yeah, it doesn't feel like there's ever time for that.
So that part, it doesn't feel like there's time. If you do indulge, what does this part say to you?
Just get back to it. Get back to work.
Is there any feeling that accommodates that? Or accompanies that, excuse me.
Yeah, so it just has this pushiness, but then there's this other feeling. I don't know if this is another part or what, but it's more of a judgment about, like, I'm fine. Like, what do you don't have time? Not you don't have time, but that there's like some guilt around that. You know, like, you're fine. I go to the doctor. She says I'm the healthiest person she's seen all day, and it's like, so there's like a shame around if I'm spending any more time on me in that regard, that's, you know, yeah, that just feels like overindulgent.
So yeah, some guilt and some shame. It sounds like a critical voice, maybe judgment.
Yeah.
Because if you do take your time and indulge, what does this part say about you? What does that mean about you? If you are, quote, overindulgent.
I'm not a religious person, but it feels like a sin. It feels like a crime against humanity to focus so much inward.
Mm-hmm. Does it make sense to you that that part would feel that way?
Yes.
Maybe take a minute to let it know. Because I'm hearing there's a lot behind what this part does. If there's guilt and there's shame, it might be protecting you from something. What's your sense?
Yeah, I mean, my sense is yes, it's protecting.
Mm. How do you feel toward this part, the one that's pretty judgmental or whatever the term is that you would use if it's critical? Or...
Yeah. I feel distant. Like I don't know that part very well, and or that I don't want to know it. I haven't wanted to know it. That's kind of like, yeah.
Yeah. So as you're noticing that, how do you feel toward it right now? That there is like a distance and like keeping it at an arm's length.
Yeah, I guess I feel kind of sorry that that I don't know it so well, but that it's had to deal with that being pushed away.
Yeah. So maybe let it know that. Just see if there's anything else. How else do you feel toward it?
Well, I'm curious.
Letting that exist in this space as well. The part that holds it at an arm's length, does it need anything from you right now?
I don't think so. Nothing's coming up.
Okay. So maybe, yeah, if you want to note both of them.
This one's more, I'm drawing this one with some distance.
Yeah.
And marking that distancing arrow as its own kind of identity.
Mm-hmm. So just checking in this space, is there, I mean, I probably need to speak for a part. I'm pretty curious about that one that you hold at an arm's length like that.
Yeah.
There's a part that does, but also I want to make space for if it feels necessary to keep up with this mapping exercise. Are there more parts that you want to note or more that you feel like you need to reveal about this system?
No, I think that I'm also wanting to focus on that one.
Okay. Got it. So maybe taking a second just to check in with your body and your mind because I'm also aware that I said that out loud spoke for a part. So I want to make sure I'm not influencing your decision too strongly. So maybe just
No.
checking in.
It feels good.
Okay. Got it. So how do you notice that part now? Noted a couple things about it, that it is a little more distant. Maybe that's the work of a part. What else do you notice about it?
I'm mostly noticing the distance. I'm mostly noticing it's like when you have, let's say, something in your room and you don't like it much, so you put it over in the corner, kind of out of like it's easier not to see. I try not to see it, but it's over there.
Got it.
That's
Like on
the main
some
thing I'm
level,
noticing.
you know it's there, but you don't really look directly at it anymore, even though it's in the room.
Right.
Okay, so let's make space for that part that's maybe a part that's holding it at a distance, putting it across the room. How do you notice?
I'm imagining pulling up a chair for it
Okay,
and
great.
inviting it.
That's awesome. Is it making its way to the chair with you?
We've closed some distance.
Okay. When you say close some distance, is it between the distance one, you and the distance one, or the one that the part is holding further away from you?
The part that is further away, I feel like we're able to get closer together.
Okay, got it. As that's happening, I just want to check in with the one that kind of has been holding it at an arm's length to make sure it's okay. Is it okay that you're closer?
Yeah, I feel like it has trust for me now.
Great. So it knows that you're there and knows it's actually you, maybe?
Yeah, feels like that.
Great. If it has any issue with what's going on, please invite it to let you know. Thank it for giving you the space you need to get closer and for trusting you. So this part that is slowly getting closer, how do you notice it now?
It seems young and it seems jumbled, kind of. It just seems kind of tangled up.
How do you notice that it's tangled up and jumbled?
I'm not sure I can explain. Just visually, it's just what's coming to me is kind of. It just looks like a knotted up kind of person.
Okay. Is there a sensation in your body that comes with that jumbled?
Yeah, it's kind of has a "don't look at me" or maybe that's shame kind of feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Got it. So as that's coming forward, how do you feel toward this part?
Sweet.
Okay. So when you say sweet, do you mean like comforting or?
Yeah, just that I'm open to it and I'd like to know more.
Awesome. So let it know that. And just see how it responds to your curiosity and the sweetness you feel toward it.
Well, it responds really well. Kind of like, oh, you're I am okay with. Like, it kind of has this happy surprise of being in my presence versus whatever else it's fending off.
Got it. So it notices that you're different than something else that is nearby.
Yeah.
Got it. Can it tell you more about whatever it is that it is fending off, like you said?
Yeah.
Is it showing you or telling you?
Yeah.
Great. Just reminding you don't actually have to say any of this out loud. Is it okay what it's showing you? Does it feel like too much or is it okay?
That's great.
Take your time. You're taking notes right now, so I'll just let me know when you're.
Yeah, it's just showing me the different concerns or things it feels like it has to fight against or is beaten down by.
Got it. So these concerns that are nearby, would you describe their flavor as like beliefs, or are they memories that it's trying to fight against? Like what are you noticing is plaguing this little one?
Hmm. I'm not sure how to answer that. I'm not sure if they're beliefs or memories or if that's all kind of conflated
All
here.
mixed together, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe the starting point, maybe for some beliefs.
Sure.
So as it's showing you these things, how do you feel toward it? And also what it's carrying or trying to stay away from?
I feel very sympathetic and open. Um,
So really share that with this part. And, little ones, they can't really be rushed.
right.
So really invite this one to take its time and let you know what it needs in the meantime as well. See if there's more it wants to share.
Yeah, I'm getting some more
Mm.
memories.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Does it make sense to you what it's sharing?
Yes, very much.
How do you feel toward it as it shares these memories with you?
Kind of relieved and like, it's nice. It's nice to know, and it's nice to validate them and just witness them.
Mm-hmm. So the relief you're experiencing, does it feel like it's coming from this part? Or coming from somewhere else?
Yeah, it feels like it's coming from this part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it makes sense, doesn't it? If it's been kept at an arm's length for so long, it's just been a part of the room, but not really getting much attention. That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Also, does it make sense that it wouldn't get the attention? I don't want anyone to feel guilty about that, the way I phrased that just now. Just checking.
Does it make sense that it wouldn't get the attention from me and my system?
Yeah, like maybe it's set up that way for safety.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So just validating that as well.
Yeah.
So checking in again to see if there's more. There's more this part needs you to know.
It's sharing some things with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're around health and
This one part is?
just um what it's sharing is it's just giving me some insights around that.
Got it. So
It's making
insights.
some connections with members of my immediate family, and also making connections with um, a lot of the work I've done has been with children in the hospital setting,
Mm.
and so I have a paradigm of of how to treat them, or what you know what a sick kid deserves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So just I want to make sure I'm following. So there's this knowledge about how kids should be treated, what they deserve, and it's
Yes.
specifically these sick kids that you work with.
Uh-huh.
And then also reflecting on maybe when there was illness in your childhood. Is that what the connection is? It's different or
It's
immediate
different.
family?
It's more about the care that siblings would receive in
Oh,
comparison, and maybe for whatever reason, you know, maybe me as a child, this part isn't asking for that care, or maybe it comes from elsewhere, but definitely felt like a different.
got it. So what I'm hearing is there's a part maybe that is making connections
Mhm.
and is like realizing some things possibly.
Mhm.
So that part that's realizing some things, is it pointing to a different part? Just checking to see. Like a part that didn't get the care, that didn't get the same care as your siblings.
It feels like the same part.
Okay. So letting that part know that this information is coming forward, like that you're understanding this about it, see how it
Mhm.
responds.
It's interesting. It's very relieved, and it's like it's happy that it can share that with me,
Mm-hmm.
and yet it still has this like hesitation to share it with me.
Mm-hmm. So just letting it reflect more on that if it would like to. It's hesitant. Can it tell you why? It's totally fine if it is. It likely has a really good reason.
I think it has a concern about the different ways of sharing that. So, like, it has this kind of belief that it needs to share it in a certain logical way, like make the case for itself, versus just sharing emotionally how it is, how it feels.
Got it.
Yeah.
So I wonder if this part has experience in explaining itself to other parts.
Yes.
Yeah. Sounds like it has learned different ways to explain itself based on whoever its audience may be.
Yes.
So, not realizing that, what feels like the right move to you? What do you feel like you should tell this part when it's considering how to share?
What feels right to me is art, or just to offer it um, everything. Like, if it doesn't want to just cry about something, well, there's 100 other ways it could express itself.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. So letting it choose is what I'm hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that it gets to choose what feels
Yeah.
right, maybe. Like offering it options, but seeing what feels right to this little part. How would it want to share it with you?
Yeah, we're kind of imagining like a playroom that can get really messy. And just doing all the things.
Got it. Does that feel like something you can start now with this part or set up?
Yeah.
So take your time and let this part lead. What would it need in this playroom?
Yeah, musical instruments and paint and permission to mix the two. Because yeah. Mm-hmm.
Does it feel like this is something that would need to happen in the real world, or is it where it is in space right now sufficient?
We can see some crossovers. I have those things.
Maybe we have a few more minutes. Maybe invite this part to start sharing with you if it would like to. If it feels like
Yeah.
so. How
Sharing.
are? Go ahead.
Well, is there more to ask, like what it wants to share or how?
Yeah, yeah. So it's in this space, right? It's like in a playroom. It's got all of its supplies.
Mm-hmm.
Where would it want to start with you? What does it want you to see, or does it want you to
Yeah,
work?
it feels like it's already 10 steps ahead of me in
Oh.
embracing all of that, and it just wants me to be there with it to help make meaning out of it.
Got it. How do you feel toward it as you're saying that it's really
Great.
digging in? Yeah.
Yeah, great.
It sounds like this little part is getting to play in a big way.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So let it know you feel great about what it's doing and that you're there with it. Really opening up the space for whatever it wants to show you. Take your time.
Yeah, feels good.
What are you noticing?
Just it's feeling relief, and it's feeling again more like able to express itself, and it's feeling just making more connections about ways that we could carry that forward, do that in the future, do that in the external world.
Mm-hmm. To really work with this part, is what it sounds like. The different ways that you can keep this moving.
Right.
Great. Well, maybe just check in with this part and see if there's anything else right now that it would like you to know or see while we're in this space together.
It's wondering about kind of the other parts, or like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's wondering how to not go back.
Yeah, I'm wondering if, do you get a sense that the other parts can see how different things are? That this part is really just a sweet little person that wants to do art and be a kid?
Yeah, when I invite them to. Mhm.
Yeah, how are they responding?
Um, just all right. They all have their own worlds.
Yeah,
They have their own worlds to worry about. They feel like,
sure.
but it's one less thing. It feels like it's one less um, concern that some of them might need to have.
Right, because it sounds like there's at least a few parts that are in a system with this one,
Right.
especially the one that was holding it at an arm's length.
Right.
Wondering if it can see maybe that this part isn't just what it thought it was. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Yeah, I'm just making a note to investigate that sometime, that the part that keeps it at a distance, I guess I had kind of just considered that there was a distance, and I hadn't really thought about that as being a part.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I'm making a note to flesh that out more.
Right. I mean, it could be in your system. It could be either. I think I
Mhm.
am, may have heard something that implied it was a part, but maybe it's not. Yeah, just to explore and see.
Yeah.
Because it could be that this little one has some things that another part wasn't particularly excited to look at.
Right.
Like when I say that, do you get the sense that it's a part, or what's your gut instinct?
I don't know.
Mm, that's
I'm
all
afraid
good.
to say. I'm afraid to say before I
Before you
take the
explore.
time to yeah.
Sure. Got it. Okay. Well, just extending some gratitude to all the parts that showed up today. I mean, you and I just met an hour
Yeah.
ago, and yeah, they trusted you and they trusted me, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. That was excellent guidance. And I really like the way that you navigate the kind of initial presenting protector parts and the detail around each of them is really helpful.
Oh, great. Happy to hear that. Parts are very interesting to me. I have a lot of curiosity about them.
Yeah, me too.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing with me and for sharing your parts with all of your listeners too. That's brave. It's wonderful that they're willing.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
And if there's more of it you want to discuss, or I'll share this with you and we can decide what to do with it later.
That sounds good. All right,
Thanks
James.
so much for your time.
Yeah, anytime. It was great to meet you, and keep doing what you're doing. Like, sharing this with everyone that you can is, it's great. IFS will save the world. I'm certain of it.
I think so. All right.
Okay, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, James. Bye.
Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. Join the Discord server or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Yvonne, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. To every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts. And to anyone out there getting to know their internal system, keep going. Who knows? That might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube. And they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.